So I bought a vacation property and now I want to know how much is it going to cost me. Welcome back to another episode of Gulf Coast Investing, where we talk about all things investing right here on the Gulf Coast. My name is Casey and I would love if you would like this video and consider subscribing to my channel for more great content just like this as we post out and push out videos every single week. So I had a good friend of mine who does maintenance for our properties, for our property management company, reach out and say, hey, you know, I like the videos, I like talking about investing and owning and all that, but why don't you do a video that talks about, hey, what's the ongoing cost of owning a vacation property? So now I bought it, so now, you know, what fees, what expenses, I've already paid my closing costs, I paid my down payment, I paid all these things. What's it gonna cost me now that I own? What's the month-to-month expenses look like? Some known and some more unknown to prepare for. So we've done a video talking about the entire process from literally looking at properties all the way to owning and talked about some month-to-month costs, but this video is literally just dedicated to, okay, now I've closed, it's the next month, what should I look out for, what should I prepare for are going to be ongoing costs to own and maintain my property. So the first one, the biggest one, the obvious one is your mortgage payment. So unless you bought the house for cash, you're going to have a mortgage payment each month. So wrapped into that mortgage payment is going to be insurance for the property that's going to be included, and also your property taxes. So the mortgage company takes your yearly insurance and your yearly taxes, divides it by 12, and adds that to your principal. And your principal is what your mortgage payment, how much your loan that you're paying back to the mortgage company is. So all those things are going to be wrapped up together. So say you were in your principal, what you were paying principal and interest to the mortgage company was $1,000. Your property taxes were $1,200, so you divide that by 12. That's an extra $100 a month. And say your insurance is $600 a year because you're in a condo and you're just paying for the inside contents insurance like we talked about in previous videos. Divide that by 12 and it's $50. So your whole monthly mortgage payment, including your insurance, your taxes, everything like that, and your mortgage would be $1,150 per month. So $1,150 a month. So that you're going to have to pay every single month. You're signing at closing that you're going to pay these, otherwise the mortgage company is going to foreclose on you and you're going to lose that property. So that's obviously the first and biggest expense that you will have every month. The second one is your monthly HOA. So when you're buying, especially a condo, you're going to have a monthly HOA that we've discussed in other videos. Again, that's going to cover most of your utilities. It's going to, cover Wi-Fi, water, sewer. It's going to cover the outside maintenance. If you have a security guard shack, to get into your building, the elevators in your building, the pools in your building. Is it a heated pool? Does it have a game room? Does it have a lazy river? The walkway out to the beach itself. All that area, it's going to cover in your monthly HOA dues that you're going to pay every month. Again, same thing. If you don't pay your HOA dues, they're going to come looking for you. They're going to put a lien on your property and things get complicated. So that's something that you're going to have to pay. Again, that could be anywhere from $400 a month to $1,000 a month for those HOA dues. So you have your monthly, again, your mortgage payments, your taxes, your insurance, and then you have those monthly HOA dues. So the next one is your other utilities that aren't covered by the HOA. So that's pretty much always going to be power. Normally your power bill is not going to be in your HOA. And then look for things like internet and cable. Is that included in the HOA? Sometimes it's just a basic cable package where it's just the wire coming straight out from the wall. If you want to upgrade it to having a TV box, if you want to, or a cable box, if you want to upgrade your Wi-Fi or pay additional Wi-Fi, those are going to be additional costs on top of your HOA fees that you're going to want to look out for, because again, those can kind of add up a little bit. Does your HOA cover pest control? You may have to get a pest control company there. If you're in a house, you may have to get a trash can rollout service for $90 a quarter. Then they're going to make sure, because your guests, they're going to forget. It's going to be a check-in day, a checkout day. They're going to forget to take the trash out. Your trash is going to pile up, especially the houses we manage. People, if there's 15 people in a house, they're going to go through 2 or 3 trash cans And if those don't get put out at the street, then it's just sitting by the house for the next guest to check in, and it doesn't look good. So you may have a monthly trash can roll-out service. So little things like that that you want to make sure are covered when you're looking, and tie those into your expenses that you're going to have every single month. Because again, those are things you have to pay to make your property run. So those are the things that you want to account for. So the last two things, and again, this is kind of what sparked this video, was the conversation with the guy that runs our maintenance and cleaning company and all that. So he was talking about, hey, maybe break down some of the maintenance costs that people sometimes aren't aware of. So again, two types of maintenance. You have preventative maintenance, and then you have what I would call like reactionary maintenance. So preventative is, hey, we do these things to help make sure things don't break along the way. We check it if there's a small leak. We make sure it doesn't turn into a bigger leak down the road. Things like that are preventative. Then you have things that are reactionary. So hey, the guest just called and the toilet seat broke, or the hinge fell off of the doorknob, or the cabinet door, or the door's loose, or the batteries are dead, or all those kind of things. Those are more reactionary. Hey, this just happened. We got to get out there and get it fixed, whether it's the guest's fault or it's just normal wear and tear and things like that. So keep those two things in mind. Find you a good maintenance person that has like a monthly maintenance plan. So all of our units are set up on this monthly maintenance plan where at his set cost, your supplies are covered. So you're not having to pay for a light bulb if a light bulb goes out. If a battery dies in your remote control or on your front door lock, anything like that, he's gonna come out. He's gonna make sure those batteries are the batteries are changed out. He's gonna make sure the light bulbs are fresh every time. If a light bulb goes out on a guest, they're gonna come out. They're gonna change that light bulb, and then in that preventative category, they're gonna do preventative items. So hey, that air filter down here, it needs to be changed out once a month. So those are gonna be labeled and signed off on. This air filter was changed once a month. That's preventative. That's helping prolong the life of your AC. And then again, like we talked about, he's looking for cracks. Hey, that crack wasn't there in the ceiling last month and now it is. We need to notify the HOA. We need to see if we have a problem going on upstairs, if there's a leak or things like that. So those type of preventative things not only make your guest stay and guest experience better, but they're also going to help prolong the life of your property. And they're going to help, keep things. If you catch one small leak now, hey, $40, whatever it is, he fixes the leak, it's fine. That's much better than a leak underneath the sink that doesn't get caught for 4 months because people aren't looking at that specific spot. And now you have mold, and now the cabinets are ruined, and you have a much bigger problem. Now it's maybe leaked into the unit downstairs. So preventative is always better. Just like we say when you're buying a home, always get a home inspection. Just pay that little cost. It's going to save you down the road. And then of course reactionary. So have that budgeted in your budget, and all that is, hey, you're going to have normal wear and tear. So those can literally be things like, hey, the toilet seat got loose or a doorknob got loose. It could be things that just break, that a guest break, and yeah, they may pay for it or cover it, but who's paying your maintenance person to go out there and swap out the TV? Who's paying to have these things done and to really look at your property and say, hey, I know that hole was not in the wall before the last guest, and now there's a hole in the wall. We got to have somebody address that. If you don't have somebody looking for those reactionary items, making sure that your unit's protected in between guests and things, and again, those things add up. All of a sudden, you've had a hole in the wall for 3 months. It's been a busy summer season. You have no clue who broke it. You have no clue who did it. And now you're paying out of your own pocket and out of your own profits to get it fixed. So again, having the routine maintenance and then having that preventative maintenance on call, and on call is a huge thing. Because there are certain scenarios, most aren't. You have a lot of renters that call and they say it's an emergency and it's a light bulb just burned out. Well, that's not an emergency. We'll take care of that tomorrow. But if it's, hey, the hot water heater just exploded and there's water leaking out everywhere, having a maintenance person that's on call, either himself or he can make a call and get somebody out there as quick as possible to limit the amount of damage and things like that. So just have those in mind. Again, preventative you're going to pay for. Maintenance issues, we even get, maintenance even down to pots and pans that just eventually rust out or get old and stale, and cooking utensils and things like that. That still goes in that maintenance category of things that, hey, you're going to need a deep clean done twice a year. You're going to need your carpet, if you have a carpet or a pull-out couch, and you're going to need that scrubbed down and cleaned and everything. those are all items that add up that a lot of people don't think about is, hey, I need to make sure I have some of my budget set aside for if things happen that you know, are routine or that are out of the ordinary or just normal wear and tear. Have a couple $100 set aside to be able to replace those, so when that do happens, then you won't be caught on your feet or flat-footed. So the final thing I want to talk about is management costs. So management plus any other fees to run your rental property. So if you have a management company, if you don't have a management company, you're going to have fees that you want to think about. So many people, when they go to check out, we'll first talk about if you don't have a management company and you're listed on Vrbo or Airbnb. When a guest goes to check out, you hear it all the time, you see it on Facebook, they say, oh, well, the room rate said this, and then I hit check out and I have cleaning fee and taxes and insurance, and then I have to pay this Airbnb fee or Vrbo fee. You, on the owner side of it, when you list on those sites to get bookings, they're going to take anywhere from 3 to 5% of that booking, and they're going to take that as their profit because they advertise your property on their platform. So there's things, even if you're not with the management company, say, oh, I don't want to pay 15%, I don't want to pay 20%. Well, you're still going to pay a percent to somebody to put your property on these different platforms. So just keep that in mind. Also keep in mind that you're going to have, if you're not using a management company, you know, your check may look good at what you get, but some of those places, they don't remit the taxes. They don't collect and pay the taxes for you. So some of that money you're going to have to take and you have to pay your lodging taxes. Some of that money you're going to have to take and you're going to have to pay your cleaners. So just because a big number looks great, oh, that's a huge gross number, it's $50,000. Well, it may be more like $40,000 or $45,000 by the time you back out, you know, taxes you had to pay and cleaning fees that you had to pay and things like that. So make sure if you're looking at different properties, you figure out, hey, is this just the room rate, you know, number, or is this including taxes and your cleaning fee and all that you made and then had to pay out? So things to keep in mind. And then, of course, if you do have a property management company like ours, again, you're going to pay a set percent and they're going to take care of the rest for you. So just make sure you factor that in. If hey, I'm gonna, you know, if I'm supposed to make $50,000 a year, you back out your you know, whatever your percent is, 15%, 18%, 20%, back that out for your management fees, and then that is your net number. So normally a property management company like ours, you know, we're going to charge a percent of the room rate. So again, it's the room rate. If it's $200 a night, we're taking a percent from that. Now, part of our fees, why we get paid, is we're also collecting the lodging taxes, we're collecting the insurance, we're collecting the fee for the cleaners, but then we're paying all those out of all those buckets, we call them. You know, we're collecting it, putting the bucket, and it's getting paid right back out. So we have a little bit more moving parts. You know, we may have one big transaction for $4,000 for a, you know, 1 week stay for a beachfront, you know, 1-bedroom condo. But by the end of it, hey, your cut may be $2,000 or $2,500 or whatever that is. But you don't have to worry about anything else. That is your net number. That's after your management fees. That's after your any insurance that the guest pays for. That's after your taxes are paid. The city, the state, you know, the county, all those different places, and that's after the cleaners have been paid out. So you're going to look at those numbers. So just make sure you prepare and you figure out ahead of time, hey, are these the gross numbers or are these the net numbers that this rental is going to get paid, so I can better clarify, you know, how much am I actually going to make. So thank you, JP, for the idea. Hope this kind of helped out and show you, hey, these are some things to make sure you're prepared for. Some are going to be set fees. Some are going to be some unknown fees. So set some buckets aside to keep a little slush fund, you know, if there are some unknown costs and things like that going. So hope this video helped you out, and we'll see you next week.